Good morning. I am live from Santa Barbara, California, and it is absolutely a beautiful morning. Look around me. This is not a green screen. It is rolling hills and beautiful flowers and this very English countryside kind of vibe, and I'm super excited to be here. Good morning, John. So what I thought I would do, since I'm traveling and not home, is to walk you guys through some of the questions that I've been getting over the last few weeks. So the last few times that we've gotten together on Sunday morning, we've talked about how to make our own chemical-free cleaners for the house, and I've talked a lot about why Young Living oils are so much better for you and your home and your body, and how to use some simple ingredients like vinegar and baking soda, etc., in order to make your own home cleaners. So today, I thought I'd show you what I travel with when I'm traveling and tell you a little bit about what they are. And so these are the oils I never leave home without. I have a bunch of them. Right now, I am drinking grapefruit in my water. It is really good for stimulating your metabolism. I'm gonna switch over and just look at a few notes I have so that I don't get off track. But I'm really excited to share this info with you. So you've probably heard a lot of hype about essential oils, and you want to see what all the fuss is about. I know that for me, I really got into this when my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer earlier this year. And we lead what we thought was very healthy, active lives. I mean, my mom went to the gym 5 days a week. We were hiking volcanoes in Hawaii just a couple weeks before she was diagnosed. And we were like, those can't be our charts. Like, that's not my mom's charts. That you're looking at the wrong person. And then as we started investigating more and more, we realized how many chemicals we expose our bodies to on a daily basis. And I started making steps towards replacing the kind of status quo products off the shelf with that, which is a cleaner option and much better to put into the environment that we live and breathe every day. So these little oils have been amazing. They support your immune system. They help you take control of your health. They help you have better and quicker recovery time. For all of my active friends, I know we all like to run. Heck, I think today is the Chicago Marathon, and there's like 40,000 people running today, and could probably use some muscle recovery after running all those miles. Many of you either suffer with depression or need to figure out how to get deeper sleep, better sleep, or improve your overall mood. And oils all are one way to really help support you in all that. So a little bit of like history, because I thought that'd be really interesting to share with you. I mean, oils have been around for thousands and thousands of years. They were mentioned over 1,100 times in scripture, in the Bible, and some of the oldest cultures on earth have used essential oils, including the Babylonians. They used cedarwood, myrrh, and cypress. Egyptians actually have the oldest recorded deodorant recipe. How cool is that? I mean, in addition to creating awesome pyramids, they really were very innovative. They also used lots of these oils for beauty and for embalming, etc. The Pakistanians and in Rome used essential oils in their communal bathhouses to help prevent the spread of disease and bacteria when everyone used to have to go down the way to the community bathhouse. And so they've been used for those purposes even way back when. In medieval Europe, many brought oils back during the Crusades. But it was only after World War II when essential oils were kind of rediscovered, and the science of how they are used and applied to your life continues to evolve every year, and we learn more and more. Another interesting fact is that thyme, like the thyme spice that you're seasoning the leaf that you would cook with, thyme was actually used to fight anthrax during World War II. And then we've all also heard the story of when baby Jesus was born and the three wise men brought gifts. It was gold, frankincense, and myrrh. And frankincense and myrrh are super powerful. They have tons of health benefits, including frankincense has almost over 10,000 different uses. And so sometimes it's referred to as kind of like the coconut oil of essential oils, because when in doubt, grab your frankincense or your lavender, which is also very versatile, kind of your Swiss Army knife, and does a lot for you. So what are they? So this is like cypress, for example, and cypress is from a cypress tree. It is the absolute most powerful part of a plant. It is the immune system of a plant. So if you think about it, all these plants are permanently here. When we wake up day in and day out, a plant is not able to run away. So they need to have the inherent constituents and properties inside of them to be able to these and withstand weather conditions, and when predators come, they have to be able to withstand that if birds try to eat it or other animals. So anyway, there's a lot of power in a plant. And what an essential oil is you actually distill down all the shrubs, the flowers, the trees, the roots, the bushes, the fruit, the rinds, the resins, the herbs, etc. All that gets distilled down. And then you get the organic compounds of the plant in the purest form. So for example, lemon, I have lemon here and I put lemon in my tea every morning. It's very, very different to have a lemon essential oil than it is to squeeze lemon in your water. You get the very acidic nature of the lemon fruit when you put it in your water, whereas this is actually the entire plant, the branches, the trees, everything kind of distilled down. So you get really the true essence of the lemon, much more concentrated. In humans, what that does is those oils then help impact and improve every part of our body. So everything from our skeletal system, our muscular system, our circulatory system, our endocrine system, our hormones, respiratory systems, our immune systems. They support your brain health. They keep you with healthy weight. So there's just tons and tons of power in these awesome oils. And I want to just say good morning to everybody. Hi, Fatima, Rochelle, Christy, Matt Gallagher. Hey, how you doing? Luis, Amber, Amy, Laura. Wow. Hey, so great to see you guys. Thank you for joining. If you missed the beginning, I'm in Santa Barbara, and this is my view this morning that I get to wake up to, and it is phenomenal. So thank you for joining me. Can't wait to share a little bit more about these beautiful oils with you. So we were just going through what is an essential oil. So they penetrate into every cell membrane in your entire body and disperse throughout your blood and tissue. So one single drop, like I said, they're very concentrated. So one single drop contains countless molecules that affect our bodies at the cellular level. Their purpose is to help support all of our body systems. They really keep our bodies clean and our systems functioning as they intend to. So when God created us, when we were born perfect, where we can really survive and adapt to our environment. But we have tons of environmental challenges that hit us. So the sun, the chemicals we breathe, the food that we eat, and the terrible food system that we have right now, even the pharmaceuticals the drugs that we are prescribed at the doctor's office. So many of the pharmaceutical companies actually try to mimic the constituent properties of essential oils. The problem is that an essential oil is from nature, and you can't patent something from nature. So what they do is they'll add extra ingredients and man-made synthetic products in order to create a recipe that can be patented. And that's the only way to really make money. You can't make money on something made in nature as easily. But there's a lot of mimicking in the labs of that which exists in nature and that you can find in your oils. So on average, each essential oil contains hundreds of constituents, as I mentioned, and more are being discovered every day. For example, lavender contains approximately 200 different constituents, which makes it very, very versatile. The other thing that's interesting is they're greaseless. So it's very different than the oil that you would use in your kitchen, an olive oil or coconut oil that you would cook with that have grease. A true essential oil should just absorb right in. It's dry. So here's some mind-blowing facts. How are they made? You would think, like I was showing you this lemon essential oil a second ago, that you could fill this tiny 5 milliliter bottle quite easily. In truth, it takes a lot of work to create a pure grade essential oil. So for example, it takes 60,000 rose blossoms to provide 1 ounce of rose oil. Lavender is obviously abundant, it grows everywhere, but it takes 220 pounds of lavender to provide just 7 pounds of oil. Jasmine is one of the most expensive oils out there, and it's so delicate and so tender. It must be hand-picked because the process of machine picking it actually damages the constituents. So it has to be hand-picked before the sun comes up so that it's not hot on the very first day that the jasmine flowers open, thus making it one of the most expensive oils in the world. And it takes 8 million hand-picked blossoms to produce only 2.2 pounds of oil. How crazy is that? A sandalwood tree must be 30 years old and 30 feet high before it can be cut down to be distilled. Also, sandalwood is quite expensive. It's probably close to $90 for a little bottle. And that's why it takes so long, and it goes out of, it becomes unavailable quite often because the trees just don't produce fast enough. But luckily, a little bit does go a long way. So a little bottle, like I'll use a different one, like my grapefruit. This I use every single day, and it probably will last me 3 to 4 months. It has roughly 90, I don't know, to 120 drops in it or so. And then a larger bottle, like a 15 milliliter bottle, has roughly 250 drops. So this is easily a 6 to 9 month supply if you were to use it every single day, which typically you don't. And the great thing is they don't expire. So this same bottle will be good in 20 years. So if I get it, it never expires and you can always use it. They will evaporate, however, so it's good. That's why they're always in these dark containers and you want to keep them out of the sunlight. So you can use oils as an alternative to toxic cleaning. If you've been tuning in previous Sundays, I do these sessions every Sunday morning, and I teach you different things. Many times it's kind of how to make your own products, but I thought I'd go down to some of the fundamentals since I'm not home today and can't make anything with you this morning. But you can really use things like clove is a great antibacterial. And so when you add clove, which is a key component of thieves cleaner, which I've showed you in the past, it is a great way to clean your home naturally is by adding clove to your homemade cleansers. It also is really good if you're getting sick to consume clove and or breathe it in as you sleep. And that really helps as well. And that's a key, as I said, a key item in Thieves, which is a proprietary blend that Young Living makes specifically for that purpose. They're also really good for emotions and your spiritual support, your prayer life, and oil can be diffused in the room. They really help with studying, with focus at work. I diffuse Citrus Fresh, which is a blend of all the different citrus, tangerine and grapefruit and orange, etc. And Citrus Fresh at work is really good at helping for getting through that mid-afternoon slump. My coworkers around me love it, and they're very grateful that they get the fringe benefits. So the other thing I wanted to go through is why not all oils are the same. You've heard me say this a bunch of times if you've been watching over the last few weeks. Not all oils are the same. And so I know that you can go to a Marshall's or Ross or Bed Bath & Beyond and buy a set of 5 oils for $12. I'd say you get what you pay for is the same thing in everything in life. So why some companies are able to sell oils cheap is ultimately to save money. So if you spray your crops with pesticides, then you have more crop and you're able to distill more. If you use chemical solvents to extract the oil further, then you're able to pull out more and you have a broader yield. If you dilute it with a cheaper oil, in many cases they might take a teeny little bit of lemon, for example, and fill the rest of the bottle with something inexpensive, like an inexpensive olive oil or even just pure rubbing alcohol, or who knows what. It could be a grab bag of whatever they want to put in there. And that's another way to cut corners. And so therefore, the entire bottle is not necessarily what you think you're getting. And even what is the actual essential oil may not be pure, healthy, or medical grade or therapeutic grade for your body either. So it's really a grab bag. The unfortunate part is that oils are not very well regulated. So it's sort of a wild, wild west out there in the oil world. So according to the National Association for Holistic Aromatherapy, as well as the International Organization for Standardization, they have stated there's no recognized rating system for essential oils. So you can't get different grades like you can in the pharmaceutical world, where you can get, you have your like top tier brand name medicine, and then you also have your kind of knockoff generic versions of those medicines. That doesn't exist yet, although we're getting there because oils are becoming more and more popular in hospital systems and in ambulatory systems. But we're not there yet, so there's not an official rating. However, there are a few things that the FDA does regulate, just a couple. And one of those is that in order, and let me see if I can get you to see this really well. In order for any oil to read 100% pure therapeutic grade, you have to at least have 5% of the bottle, just 5%, be actual essential oil. That's kind of mind-boggling because you can still write 100% therapeutic grade and have the majority of the bottle be straight pest. It could be ant killer. It could be anything. You don't know. So that's one of the FDA regulations. The other is you'll notice that there are white labels and then there's color labels like this. The FDA had said that if you're going to be able to make a claim in your directions that you can then ingest or consume your essential oil, it needs to be labeled differently where it can be called out. You can't have an oil that can be ingested as well as be used in other ways, be labeled the same. Although, hint, hint, secret, you can buy a lemon bottle solid colored label and a lemon bottle white label. This is Vitality line. This is Young Living's way to get around the FDA rule and show that you can ingest these. And because they're safe and it's all lemon and there's nothing else in there. But it's the same product. So if this was lemon, they're exactly the same. It's just the label. So that's one. That's the second FDA regulation rule. But it is commonly recognized in the industry that there are kind of 4 categories of oils. There's grade A, grade B, grade C, and grade D. Again, it's not official, but commonly recognized. Grade A is your therapeutic grade. It is made from all organically grown plants. It is distilled at low temperatures. And why that's important is think about when you're in the kitchen. If you were to heat something up, if you're cooking on your stove and you heat something up, it gets thinner and it then becomes a bigger yield. If you cook something at a very cold or low temperature, it doesn't get quite as thin. It stays together more, and that's why you actually have less yield to sell, but it doesn't kill all the nutrients. So it's the same as if you're cooking broccoli. If you eat cooked broccoli, does it have the same nutritional value as when you have raw broccoli? And the answer to that is no, because you've actually killed a lot of the good for you nutrients and micronutrients that are in that broccoli by heating it up. So again, very important to distill at low temperatures over long periods of time in order to not kill all of the good medical benefits and the good for you in your body benefits that these oils have. Grade B is what they consider to be food grade, and they may contain synthetics or pesticides, fertilizers, chemical extenders. They may be diluted with carrier oils. Carrier oil would be something like an olive oil or an almond oil or any type of oil that wouldn't be pure from a plant essential oil. So these are your kind of non-organic versions. And then grade C are what they call perfume oils. They often contain adulterating chemicals. So they'll use things like solvents. For example, there's a product called Hexane, which is added to get a larger yield of oil per harvest. Many of those solvents can be cancerous, and they're in many of your store-bought oils. They also may be diluted as much as 80 to 95% with just pure rubbing alcohol. So if you were to take 2 bottles, like a Young Living bottle of lavender with a bottle of lavender that you bought at Marshall's in front of the counter, for example, any of those other brands, smell them. I would challenge you to do it. Just smell the 2. They smell completely different, because when you're really smelling God's gift to earth, like pure lavender, it's completely different than like a synthetic lavender. And then there's grade D, your lowest, and they call that floral water. And that's because it's really aromatic only. It really shouldn't even be added to your skin. or topically used, it is oftentimes the byproduct of grade A distillation. So after an oil is pulled out, kind of that leftover trash water, if you will, is sold to other companies, which then fill 5% of a bottle with this grade D floral water, and then the rest with some kind of carrier oil, and then they can label it as pure. So it's just mind-boggling. You can't really get any of the good nutrient value out of a grade C or grade D oil. So grade A is really the only pure way to go. I will mention, and again, this isn't a sales pitch, but I do want you to know how to navigate this crazy world of essential oils. I chose to only use Young Living products, predominantly because they are the only ones that I can trust. I know what's in the bottle. I know it's not diluted with anything else. I know it's pure from the earth. I know they're organic, so much so that the gentleman that founded this company in 1993, his name was Gary Young. He's passed away now, but he only will, so majority, the company was founded on owning their own farms. He was a farmer by nature, not a chemist or scientist. So they now partner with some farms, but majority of their farms are owned. What that means is that they won't grow or harvest any plants that are going to be used for essential oil creation, for distilling, if there has been any type of tampering with that soil in the last 50 years. So that means if they have farmed on that land in any other way that isn't organic, if there was animals that had ever grazed those pastures, then they will not use them, because there could be residual pesticides, even as much as 50 years ago. There could be animal manure, like all of that. So that's why you'll hear the term seed to seal, is that Young Living really prides itself in the top tier grade A quality, organic quality, in that we know from the point that you put the lavender seed in the soil, that the nutrients that are feeding that plant's growth is also organic and highest grade. So I thought that was pretty cool. As I mentioned, there's 3 ways to use them. You can use oils topically, aromatically, where you're breathing them in, or also through ingesting oils. And I will say that I advise only ingesting oils if it is a Young Living and a Vitality line oil. There's bugs. But they can be ingested, and that's really great, like to get right to gut health, for example, or if you have indigestion, IBS, anything like that. There's certain oils that are really good to target that, and to be able to either put it in a capsule or right in your tongue and ingest it is a fantastic way to get right to the source of the problem. Anyway, I wanted to just open up. Does anyone have any questions at all? If you have questions, you can put them down in the comments. And if not, then I will just take a moment to share this gorgeous view with you. Everyone should come to Santa Barbara. I hope to retire on the Central Coast one day. Anyway, next week I will be back. I'm usually on between 9 and 10 a.m. on Sundays. And please join me, these bugs. Please join me. Next week I'll be back home, and we can go over making some cool products. Love you all. If you have any questions, please post them. I love questions. And I'll be back. Bye. Have a great day.